Hello and welcome back to the Galio Chronicles, the series where we play our first ranked games, and our first Galio games, and we sometimes talk about bread along the way. Let's hope that today we don't talk about bread. But if we do, that's okay. Bread is okay, after all. Ain't nothing wrong with bread, as my daddy once told me. He looked me dead in the eye. He said, "Son, you think there's something wrong with bread?" I said, I didn't bring it. He said, "There ain't nothing wrong with bread." I was like, okay, that's great. That is good. Good to know. Fantastic information. I will use it. I will use it to stay alive in this tower dive, despite taking maybe an extra shot than necessary. You know, strategically keeping my flash because everything is always calculated. Anyway, let's cut to the chase here, okay? White, sourdough, whole wheat. You're really not getting much of a bread selection if you just go into the supermarket and just see those three types, right? I mean, you gotta really get out of the mix to find some real specialty cuts of lean ground beef wheat, as they say. Is bread made from cows? See, these are the questions. And you would not learn this, wait a second. Wait, this champion is not Galio. Okay, now hold on. This is a different Galio. This is a separate universe okay, so we're good. It is Galio, just in a different timeline, you know? You've heard of the multiverse? Yeah, this is just a separate Galio. And in this particular universe, Galio looks a heck of a lot like Xin Zhao, and Pantheon looks a heck of a lot like a guy who thought he had a different trinket than he actually did, because he actually had the Herald of the Rift. Do you call it the Rift Herald, or do you call it the Herald of the Rift? These are the questions, and they do not have answers, but one day they might, in the form of a comment within the section of the comments. Whether that day comes or not is completely up in the air. Whether Master Yi survives every ultimate on my team or not is not up in the air. It is completely determined. He is alive, whether he likes it or not. And surely he does, because he's the guy who's living in this situation. In the off chance that it was the other outcome, he would not be the man who stays alive, and that would not be great for him, now would it? Lux gets a nice double bind, but is that enough to stop her from getting just killed in a single alpha strike and auto? Is that enough to get me from not being killed? I don't know these answers, dude. Listen, nobody has ever known an answer because nobody has ever asked the question, okay? What is the question? Great question. That's the question. You figured it out. You done did it, boy. You done did it, boy. Great now. Alright. Long story short, in this episode of the Galio Chronicles, Xin Zhao is an imposter. I was incorrect in my statement that this is a separate timeline in the multiverse. This is indeed the timeline that we are all most familiar with, and it is simply a non-Galio being played within the confines of the Galio Chronicles series. How could this happen, you might think to yourself? How could this possibly be the case? Well, allow me to explain. One day, when I was queuing up for mid and top so I could play Galio in the Galio Chronicles, I was auto-filled into jungle, and on that fateful day, I did not pick Galio. Could I have? Sure. But did I have? No. Did I absolutely not have? That's the answer. Alright? You came up with your question, yada dee, right? It's so hard to ask things. Oh no, but I got your answer. And here we are, 1,000,000 years later, overstaying at a tower to make sure that I just simply have to escape the Master Yi, and there is no other way. My ult's coming up in a second here, and I got 1 health, baby. What's good? What's good? Then got my flash coming up too. Heimerdinger, you ain't got nothing, do you? Don't even worry, I'm hiding behind. Should I have picked Galio? After all, this is the Galio Chronicles. However, I feel that Galio's jungling prowess is significantly weaker than that of Xin Zhao's. And indeed, in my first attempt to figure out which champions I would be playing on the off chance that I was auto-filled. So for each of the 5 roles, I looked at my 20 champions, and I thought about what would I do if I was placed in each of the 5 roles. And turns out that Xin Zhao was the most interesting to me. If I got, Lux staying under tower there against the Master Yi, he's going to kill her in 2 autos. That is a bold, bold statement, but I respect it because pentakills are few and far between. Studies show that pentakills only happen once in a million lifetimes. The lifetime of a particular half-life of iron. So there's a fact of the day for you.